Good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. Today's another exciting one. We have another head unit install from the guys over at iDoing. Shout out to them once again. But if you guys remember a few weeks ago, if you follow me on Instagram, this orange Crosstrek, we actually fixed up the rear bumper. There's a big crack in it. We did all the body work on that, fixed that up, and today we're going to be putting in a head unit, obviously. So this is what's in here now. Pretty basic. The head unit itself, like the radio unit, is actually like the same thing that was in the STI, but this whole trim piece is obviously the newer version. I think the ones with the screen have two bolts down below. They're like 10mm bolts. Pretty sure this one is just all clips. Start at the top and everything just unclips, and then the plugs in the back, you just unclip those and you should be free. So I'm just going to take either a trim tool or a little screwdriver and just start prying it out, and we'll go from there. For this car, I am going to focus a little bit more on a backup camera. I know we didn't do that in the STI, but this car specifically, we're going to be focusing a little bit more on it. All the wiring, I know some people have some issues wiring it up. I'm going to try my best to show every step of the way the best I can, and yeah, we'll get this thing wired up. We're kind of using the STI as a little table here because it's in the garage, taking up all our space. But to go over kind of everything that the kit includes, a lot of wiring harness. And if you saw my last video, I didn't use a lot of them. But obviously this one we're going to be using the camera wiring. So this is the camera wiring that goes from the head unit to the back of the car. This guy is the power for the camera. This I'm not sure if we're gonna have to use this or not. I don't know if it's completely plug and play or use this to convert it to plug and play. The camera, obviously, we'll be installing that. This guy we probably won't use. The 4G we probably won't use. The USBs we probably won't use if it has Bluetooth, CarPlay. Yeah, just some of this stuff. The mic we might use. Same deal we did with the other car. And then the GPS antenna. I typically just use CarPlay, so probably won't be using that either. So I'm just going to take a little screwdriver and kind of stick it up here and start prying this up. See if we can't unclip it from up here. Actually, looks like we can just pull it out. That was pretty easy. So if you look underneath your kick panel, you'll see this little white rotating thing. There's a little cable on that hooks to your climate control. Just pop that little cable off, the white little rotating assembly type thing. And I know that's really hard to see, but if you look to the right of your accelerator up in there, you will see it and you'll be able to pull that little cable off. Now coming over to the passenger side, if you drop the glove box down, you'll be able to see one on that side as well. Pull that one off and I think we'll be free now. I'm trying to figure this out as you guys are, but yeah, there's another one right there. Once you get those two climate control cables off, your head unit cover is pretty much free, minus the wires that hold into the climate control and your hazards button. Those are just little clips. You just kind of push down on a clip, pull the wire out, do that, and then we should be able to pull the cover completely off. Now, as you can see with the new unit, we're gonna have to use the same vents, the same hazard button, the same, knobs, the same climate control. All that will get transferred over, and it's actually super easy. So if we flip this over, you got 4 big old Phillips screws on the climate control, and then just a few clips. Those come out. The vents, I believe, is all just clips, and the little button, not sure exactly how that comes out. I'm assuming it's just a few clips, and we can pull that out as well. To take the old radio out, it's just 4 screws. go ahead and pull all those out and a few wires on the back. Alright, so now that we got everything transferred over, I'm just going to go ahead and plug the radio in, make sure everything works as it's supposed to. I believe it's all plug and play, so all the wires that came out of the old head unit plug right into this one, and you should be good. So let me plug all those in, and I'll show you guys what we got. Okay, so we just kind of have the head unit chilling in here. As you can see, we have CarPlay on right now, and it is completely wireless. So that's probably my favorite thing with this head unit. So if we're out of CarPlay now, you know, you got all your apps and whatever you need. So yeah, everything seems to be working as it should. So let's pull this back out and we'll start wiring up the backup camera. So sorry for any background noise if there is any, but I'm gonna try to explain this camera wiring the best I can. So this harness that iDoing provides, it has the camera in wire right here. And then there's also this guy right here, this blue wire is the reverse. So I will explain those in a second. This wire right here runs to the back of the car. So one end of this, so this yellow guy would plug into that yellow guy there. And then this little yellow wire that kind of breaks off would plug it and tap into the reverse right there. On the back end of the car, obviously this yellow would plug into the yellow on the camera itself. And then the little yellow wire that breaks off on that end plugs into the power wire on your reverse light. So those will get tapped in. This is your power wire for your camera. So it would plug into the little red guy there, and you would plug into the positive and negative on your reverse light. And that's really all there is to it, I think. Obviously I will do it all and I'll let you guys know if that's exactly how it runs. iDoing sent me over a nice little diagram showing everything that I just kind of explained there. So I'll put that on the screen right now. And then while I'm installing it, I'll try to show you everything that it's talking about. And yeah, hopefully we'll get this camera to work as it should. For the wire that has to run behind the dash and all the way to the back of the car, we're gonna run it, yeah, obviously behind there, underneath the kick panel. We're gonna remove all this trim, which I believe just is all clips, it just pops up. Run it straight to the back of the car. We'll have to figure out how to get it behind this trim, up through this airbag cover here, and into that grommet. Once we get into that grommet, it'll run down the trim through here, and we'll come out one of these lights or something back here maybe. Wherever there's a hole where we can get the wire to run through, we'll probably mount the camera right in this area here. Alright, so jump in a little bit forward. I got the backup camera wiring pretty much all the way to the back of the car. But while all the trim's off and everything's exposed, I want to show you guys exactly how I ran it and yeah, try to help you out if you need any. So obviously we start the wire going through the head unit area. I have it drop down through one of the holes down there. From there, we went under the kick panel. We went behind this trim piece here, and this is the wire right here. We ran it all the way underneath this flooring, all the way to the back. So if we look in the back seat, you can see it continues right through here. We ran it up behind this trim, and then once it comes up through there, kind of behind the little seat belt buckle, and this is just all the extra. Now there's a trim piece up here. This is the trim, and anytime I see that on any trim, I disconnect the negative terminal on the battery just to be safe. Don't need an airbag explode in my face. But once we came up through here with the yellow wire, you'll kind of see the grommet is kind of tucked right back in there. So it just kind of comes undone. Run the wire through the grommet, comes up, and then it'll connect to your camera. And now the red wire, these are the power and ground for the camera. Just also have those running down through the grommet, and I haven't connected them to the taillight yet, but these two will get connected to your reverse light, power and negative. Okay, now the camera itself, I have just double-sided tape to the car. I didn't want to put more holes in the car. And then the wire will run straight through here But if you look under the hatch, there's a little rubber grommet, and I just ran the wire straight through there and right to that connection point. So that's about as long as that wire is. We'll get it all nice and secured up to the side of the car, and then the trim will obviously cover over the top of it. This yellow wire, I'm just gonna tap into the power wire on this one here. So those will go together, and that's pretty much it. These red and black wires aren't quite long enough to get to the taillight, so I'm just going to add a little bit of wire to them, and then we'll tap in down here at the positive and negative. So I wired this exactly how the diagram is that I attached earlier in the video. That's exactly what iDoing sent to me. So if this doesn't work, we'll have to figure something else out, but either way, I mean, it makes sense. It should work. Once I get done wiring all this, we'll connect it to the head unit, make sure when we put it in reverse, the camera pops up, and that's pretty much it. The wiring really is pretty simple. You know, it's one wire that runs all the way to the back of the car, and then a few connections to power and ground in the back, and that's really it. So let me go ahead, get all these wires connected, spliced in where they have to be, and then we can get the front of the car back together, make sure everything works, and we'll be good to go. Sorry for the background noise again. There's some freaking dogs at the neighbor's house barking, but we got the backup camera all the way wired up. Everything is spliced in and connected. We put the head unit in temporarily again with the backup camera hooked up, and we're about to turn the key on, make sure the backup camera works, and then we can hook everything back up. Sweet, so looks like it all works. I was pointing at the sky because I got the hatch open, but yeah, it looks like everything works. I'll show you guys one more time how I wired the car, and then we'll get all the trim back on, get everything back together, and we'll be done. So back here where the camera connects to the wiring, this yellow line I've spliced in underneath this heat wrap, and it's into the power line on the power wire for the camera. So this is your power. And then the power and ground from the power wire to the camera runs down. I have it kind of running down the side of the car here. Goes into the back of the taillight where the reverse light is. So I just tapped into the little reverse light bulb. So that's where I'm getting my power and ground from. As far as front of the car, you can see I have obviously the camera in plugged in to the camera in on the harness, and then the reverse light plugs into the little yellow line that comes out of that camera in line, and they just crimp together, and that's it. Everything else on this harness I don't really need. She doesn't have an amp or anything in the car, any subs, so that can just stay as is and plug into the back of the unit. Alright, so everything is wired in, steering wheel controls are set up, and this thing's pretty much good to go. So we got Captain Reggae here, and she's gonna do the honors of checking it out. So this is like the Carplay setup.
So it's got a, damn, that's so fast.
Yeah, so there's your Carplay.
This is wild. Okay, so like, this is crazy.
Yeah, I didn't wire up like the GPS because I normally just use Apple Maps,
yeah,
or like the maps on here. So yeah, anything that's coming off your phone works perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah, this is sweet.
And then all your steering wheel controls still work, so your volume up, volume down.
Okay, sweet. Oh, yeah, I was skipping.
That's a volume.
Yeah.
So that works. It's the last thing. Oh, so if you put it in reverse.
Yeah, let's see.
Shebang.
Never gonna hit anything ever again.
No more trash cans and trailers.
Exactly. I just ordered new taillights. My dad's coming out next week, so
oh, no
I'm gonna
way?
try to install them.
Oh,
yeah.
perfect. And then yeah, so another thing with these head units, it makes like the sound a lot better in the car than the stock unit. So if you turn it up, you'll probably notice it right off the bat.
Yeah, I feel like I can tell already.
People's favorite parts. So you want to pull the plastic off the screen?
Yeah, let's do it. Good, Melissa's not good to get her nose all over it.
Shebang.
Dang, it is ready to go.
What do you think?
Like it, Nug? What do you think? Look at the camera.
Alrighty guys, that's gonna wrap up this video. If you guys enjoyed, drop a like. If you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I'll be sure to get back to you as soon as I can. And yeah, one last huge shout out to iDoing. Really appreciate you guys. I'm gonna do a few more things with the STI tonight, and then I have a pretty exciting video. We got an exciting package coming into the house in a few days, so be sure to stay tuned, and I'll talk to you guys later. Till then, peace out. See y'all later.